Thank you for joining us today. Could you start telling us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Thank you for having me. I have a strong passion for helping others, which led me to pursue a career in human resources within the caregiving industry. I'm almost finished with my anthropology and sociology degree with a communication minor, and have been working in and with HR roles for 2 years before starting university. My previous experience as a caregiver helped me understand the particular challenges and needs within this field as well. This provided me valuable insights in how to support both caregivers and clients effectively from an HR perspective.
What inspired you to pursue a career in human resources, specifically in a caregiving company?
I've always been drawn to roles where I can support and empower people. When I worked as a caregiver, I saw firsthand how essential it is to have strong HR support. People who understand the caregiver's daily struggles and needs. I wanted to be in a position where I could advocate for caregivers, make sure that they have whatever resources they need, and help them develop themselves professionally as well. Working for also in HR would allow me to combine my HR skills with a meaningful impact on caregivers' lives and ultimately on the quality of care provided to the clients.
What do you what do you think are the most important skills for an HR assistant in a caregiving company to possess?
Communication and empathy are at the top of the list. It's the utmost importance to communicate clearly with clients and other team members while also being empathetic in understanding their concerns and challenges. Next, organizational skills for managing documentation, schedules, and compliance with regulations. Problem solving skills are equally important as situations often arise that require quick and thoughtful reactions. Finally, understanding labor laws, especially if they pertain to healthcare and caregiving, ensures the compliance and fair treatment of any staff.
How would you handle a situation where a caregiver is consistently late or frequently calls in sick?
I would first approach the situation empathetically, my apologies, seeking to understand the root cause of the call ins. It could be due to personal issues or misunderstandings about expectations. I would have a private conversation with them to discuss any challenges they may be facing and see how we can support them. If the issue continues, I would relay company policies and work with the caregiver to develop an action plan, which might include attendance monitoring or additional support. The ultimate goal is to address the issue constructively while maintaining a positive and supportive work environment.
How do you prioritize tasks when working in a fast paced HR environment?
I combine digital tools and manual methods to prioritize my tasks. I begin each day by reviewing my calendar and task list, then prioritize each task based on urgency and importance. I address high priority items first, like handling employee tasks or compliance deadlines, and then move on to more routine tasks. I also remain flexible to allow any urgent, unexpected issues that might arise, like last minute scheduling changes. Clear communication with the rest of the HR team ensures that we're all working efficiently and can support each other when needed.
Could you provide an example of a time when you had to resolve conflict?
Certainly. In a previous role, two caregivers had a disagreement over scheduling and client assignments, which created tension in the team. I first met with each caregiver individually to understand their perspectives and feelings. I then brought them in together for a mediated discussion in a neutral location. There, I facilitated them identifying the core issues and exploring potential solutions. The result was a new scheduling approach that was fair, transparent, and positive. And not only did it improve their relationship, but also the trust and morale for the rest of the team.
How do you ensure compliance with labor laws and regulations within the caregiving field?
I'd say that staying updated with labor laws and industry regulations is one of the most important aspects of the role. I regularly review changes in employment laws, especially those affecting healthcare and caregiving. I will work closely with ALSO's legal team to or consultants to ensure that all policies are compliant on as many topics as possible, like hiring or termination. Additionally, I will regularly conduct internal audits of all documentation relating to employees to ensure that we adhere to federal and state guidelines. I'll also schedule regular training sessions for management and staff to keep everyone informed about their rights and responsibilities.
How would you support the onboarding process for new caregivers to ensure they feel welcome and prepared?
Because onboarding is such an important part of an employee's tenure, I would focus on highlighting the welcoming and informative aspects of the experience. I will ensure they have a clear schedule for their first few days. That includes training sessions, introductions to the team, and a thorough tour. I will provide them with a detailed handbook that outlines company policies, benefits, role responsibilities, and all available resources. I will be checking in regularly during the first few weeks to ensure that any of their questions are answered and that they're settling in well. I've seen how the proactivity of this approach helps new caregivers feel valued and supported from the start.
Describe a time when you implemented a new initiative that improved employee satisfaction or engagement.
In a previous position with a caregiving company, I noticed that caregivers were feeling undervalued and disconnected from the company's broader mission. I innovated and proposed a plan that was ultimately implemented. It was called the Caregivers Appreciation Plan program, which included monthly success awards, team building activities, birthday and holiday recognition, and an internal newsletter highlighting success stories and positive client feedback. This ultimately fostered a new sense of community and increased engagement, and led to a significant boost in morale and job satisfaction. Caregivers also felt more appreciated and connected to the company.
How do you maintain confidentiality while maintaining sensitive employee information?
Maintaining confidentiality is of the utmost importance in HR, especially within caregiving companies where personal and health related information is frequently involved. I've always been dedicated to adhering to data protection policies and protocols, in turn, ensuring that all sensitive information is securely stored, whether digitally or in physical files. I have always limited access to confidential information to authorized personnel only. During discussions, I'm careful about where and how I speak in order to maintain privacy, and I make sure all communications utilize secure mediums.
How would you contribute to improving caregiver retention in our company?
Retention typically is based on recognition, support, and potential growth opportunities. I'll analyze current retention rates and conduct surveys or hold meetings to understand the caregiver's needs and challenges. Using this data, I'd provide more training and professional development opportunities and ensure that the lines of communication between HR, management, and caregivers remains open and effective. My primary focus would be on creating a culture where caregivers feel valued and supported.
What strategies would you use to recruit qualified caregivers given the competitive nature of the caregiving industry?
This industry is very competitive, and thus a multifaceted approach is necessary. I will utilize multiple channels such as online job boards, especially ones that specialize in healthcare. I'll reach out and partner with local training schools and engage with community outreach programs. Additionally, I would create a referral program to encourage current employees to bring in qualified candidates from their networks.
How do you see the role of an HR assistant evolving in a caregiving company in the next few years?
The role of an HR assistant at Also will likely evolve to include more strategic elements, like database decision making and employee wellness approaches. Because there's a growing focus on mental health, HR will play a very important role in ensuring the supportive work environments that cater to the emotional and professional needs of caregivers. Technology also shapes how we manage HR tasks, and knowing how to utilize online spaces is very important. I am adaptable and tech savvy. I believe HR is and will be a bridge between company goals and employee satisfaction. especially in a field as people-centered and dynamic as caregiving.
Thank you for your thoughtful responses.
Thank you. I'm excited about this opportunity and to contribute to your team more and help support your clients and caregivers.